Like I said, he's a fantastic trainer, and I've learned a lot from him. So you were the first person who broke the myth to me that carbs are bad. So I want to explain to people.
Yeah.
I want to explain to people when I mean, and your philosophy might be different now because philosophies are always changing. But I remember at the time I came from a family that was very Atkins, keto, whatever. And I went with you and you told me to like keep a diary of what I was eating. And you were like, and you wanted me to like, you analyzed it. You wanted me to just like track in all my like breakfast, my lunch, whatever. And you looked at it. You were like, okay, you eat a lot of fat. I know this is going to sound crazy, but I want you to eat like mostly carbs and protein and the least fat. And I'm like, that goes against everything I've ever learned. And at first I was like very skeptical. I was like, everybody says carbs are bad. I lost weight so fast that it was almost too fast. Like I remember he didn't believe me. Like I came in and I was like, I lost like 10 pounds in like 2 weeks. And you were like, well, sometimes it's a mistake on the scale. I'm like, and you're like, that said it in your house. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, let's try this scale. It was probably a mistake. And then you were like, no, you did. You lost. And I'm like, that like totally blew my mind. So explain that to people. It's not that carbs are bad. It's just how you use them.
Exactly.
So like explain to them how to use them, quote unquote, properly.
Okay. So essentially like, and also, this is not me telling you what to do, just for disclaimer. But essentially, it is, in a sense, like I believe a body in balance will give you the better results. If you're depriving your body of something, it will crave that thing until it gets it. Yeah. So I look at, it's more of just a general philosophy, because realistically, if you want to keep it simple, calories in, calories out.
Yeah.
The macros don't completely matter. Body types respond to different ones better. Yeah. I mean, you generally, as Americans, we don't get enough protein.
Yeah.
So that's usually a focus for 90% of people. But then they get that demonization of carbohydrates, and then you got people that are not eating any carbohydrates, and they're falling out, and they're just like, ugh. And like they feel awful.
I think like my dad, he loves the Atkins diet and it does work for him because he's not into fitness. Mm-hmm. So I think for somebody who doesn't work out, it could work. But I love to work out. And from what I understand, if you don't have carbohydrates for working out, you could faint. Like you could literally pass out. So I think, again, like kind of like going back to what he was saying, what I've learned over the years is that it's not like you can use different diets differently depending on your lifestyle. These days, I go for a full balance of like, I don't want to just get only carbs and no fat. I want everything. So like I eat a full balance, like fat, carbs, and protein. And I always find that protein is the hardest for me to get, like, because I'm like shocked. I'm like carbs and fat are easy. Like I have a piece of cheese and I've had like a bunch of fat, or like I have a piece of bread, I have a ton of carbs. But like I feel like protein is like, oh, like beef like doesn't have as like ground beef doesn't have as much protein as chicken. Like there's more into it when it comes to protein. I feel like.
You can go even further into it, and then you got to look at your B vitamins, your B complexes, and that's actually where my focus has been lately, because it's like it's fun. Like the more you understand nutrition, the more you level up, and you can start to get more into it, and you can tweak it better too. Yeah. So you get these like, it's like getting more knobs on like a turntable or something.
Gotcha.
So like for example, here's something really weird, and you wouldn't think this: an egg has B6 and B12, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think chicken has B6 and B12?
I mean, my first instinct would be yes, but I feel like the answer would have to be no.
Because I'm bringing it up.
Because you're bringing it up. Because like my first instinct would be yes. Yeah.
So it's not. There is some, but like the egg is stronger and has more of it. So what I've actually been doing is I'm kind of moving over towards fish.